happy and chipper. He didn't seem weighed down by anything. He was in a really good place, which is why this seems so unfair.
You can catch more of this emotional interview coming up at 7 a.m. only on the Today Show. I think a lot of people, including myself, will be tuning in for that.
She put it actually really great. That was unfair and with so many questions. I know they did the autopsy. They said the results are deferred due to some toxicology, but there's so many questions, and with it comes just the unfairness of his loss.
But peace that he was doing so well after all this time.
We thank you so much for being with us early today.
Bowling Green, thank you for watching WNKY NBC 40.
My name's Al Fazalahi. Had a terrible T-bone accident. When I hung up the phone with Morgan & Morgan, I felt a huge amount of relief. They were in touch with me every step of the way and made things extremely simple for me. It was beyond easy dealing with them.
Saturdays are for football. WNKY 40 is your college football headquarters. Watch games all day on WNKY, CBS 40, and NBC 40.
It's time to tighten up, South Central Kentucky.
WNKY is your official home for the Tennessee Titans.
Watch our games plus the Coach Mike Vrabel Show and Titans All Access.
Only on WNKY News 40, because local matters.
At WNKY News 40, we're always on. WNKY.com has the latest in breaking news, local headlines, weather forecasts, and sports highlights. WNKY News 40, because local matters.
Good Wednesday morning, News 40 meteorologist Darius Mack. We're rolling halfway through the work week, and I'm tracking another downright cold morning. Can we expect some warmer numbers? I'll be tracking that just ahead with your 7-day forecast. News 40 Sunrise starts right now.
Coming up on News 40 Sunrise. The race for Kentucky's governor rages on as early voting opens up this week. We'll discover the latest in the campaigns of both candidates. Then, we'll hear how one local veteran's life was changed during her time serving our country during this week's edition of Voices of Honor. Plus, it's not just corporations being targeted for cyber attacks anymore. A recent study shows a rise in small businesses being attacked as well. We'll find out what this could mean for your wallet. News 40 Sunrise starts right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us here on News 40 Sunrise. I'm Ashley Wilson. Let's go now to our top stories. We now know the names of the two people who died Tuesday morning on Veterans Memorial Highway in Allen County. Kentucky State Police says they got a call around 5 Tuesday morning to investigate a deadly collision in the 5500 block of Veterans Memorial. KSP says after their investigation, they determined that 53-year-old Jose Alfaro and his wife, 49-year-old Ana Alfaro of Bowling Green, were driving southbound when they hit a deer. They both got out of the vehicle and were standing in the road when Javier Portillo of Bowling Green hit their vehicle and the couple. Both Jose and Ana Alfaro were declared dead on the scene. We're continuing our coverage as Kentucky's race for our next governor heats up ahead of Election Day. Republican Daniel Cameron is picking apart the Democratic governor's record and trying to energize his party's growing base in Kentucky's gubernatorial race. At a campaign stop Tuesday, Cameron took aim at Governor Andy Beshear's veto of transgender bills and the handling of the pandemic. He also linked the incumbent to the nation's top Democrat, President Joe Biden. Beshear and Cameron are making closing arguments to Bluegrass State voters ahead of Election Day next Tuesday. Starting this Thursday, polling places open for 3 days of early voting. And even though our four-legged friends have fur, pets can get cold too. That's why the Butler County Animal Shelter put out a post Tuesday advising animal owners to look out for their dogs and cats as we face colder days. A shelter worker we spoke to said straw is the way to go for outside animals, no blankets. Salt used to melt ice and snow can burn your pet's paws, so to be sure to wash them after a walk. And just breaking the wind by doing things like putting up tarps. And don't be afraid to put a coat on your dog if they have shorter hair.
That's really important. You know, they can get frostbite just like us. They can, get hypothermia and things like that. So it's really important to monitor your pet, especially if they are living outside.
She also says that if you're concerned about your animal's exposure to the cold, have a vet check them out as soon as possible. According to her, it's hard for animals to come back from frigid temperatures at times. And we officially have the highest bidder for Bowling Green's famous murder mansion, just as the spooky season starts wrapping up. This multi-story home sits off of Cemetery Road in Bowling Green and has now been sold for $1.17 million at a recent auction. The home got its name after a double murder over 70 years ago. The spine-tingling stories of the murder mansion have also been the focus of local haunted walking tours and a book by local author Wes Switek. That was a first look at your top stories. Now let's bring in meteorologist Darius Mack for a check of our forecast. Darius, another cold morning.
Yeah, another downright cold morning. Just, just not fun, at least for me. I'm not a fan of these cold temperatures. As you're stepping out this morning, be sure to throw on those extra layers. Temperatures are into the 20s right now and generally across most of the region. 27 right now into Franklin, Russellville, and Scottsville this hour. And when you factor in the winds, it feels just a few degrees cooler out there. So unfortunately, it is adding a little bit of an extra chill with a 2-mile-an-hour wind there from the north and west there into Simpson County. As far as radar is concerned, dry and quiet once again. That's going to be the case as we go throughout the day. We have high pressure that's going to work to serve up some sunshine our way as we go throughout the day as well. Your computer forecast on this Wednesday. AM drive again in the 20s. Lunch run, we're into the 40s. We're going to struggle to even make it into the 50s once again today, but we'll have sunshine in store again as we go throughout your Wednesday. Don't go anywhere. We got more of News 40 Sunrise. Weather on the Force is brought to you by Deborah Bros, attorneys at law.
WNKY News 40. Broadcasting live from the German American Bank studio in downtown Bowling Green.
The nursing home made you an important promise. They promised to be a good home for your loved one and to provide professional care in a safe environment. Now the nursing home has broken that promise and you're left searching for answers. Call us at Hughes & Coleman for a free consultation. If your loved one suffered a serious injury or untimely death while in a nursing home, get Hughes & Coleman and get it done. Call 800-800-4600. Standing up for your loved ones is what matters now.
Join the WNKY News 40 weather team. Visit WNKY.com to become a weather watcher.
What would Daniel Cameron's Medicaid plan mean for my patients?
He's threatening to take away health care coverage from over 95,000 Kentuckians.
It's very scary that people are not going to have health coverage.
People will not be able to see their doctors. People will not be able to buy medicines.
Many rural hospitals will end up closing their doors.
Cameron is still following his pal, Matt Bevin.
I don't know why you do that.
I don't think Daniel Cameron understands what Kentuckians are going through.
And that is not acceptable for a governor.
My opponent's campaign is built on attacks and lies. But you know me, and you know it isn't true. We've been through a lot together, and now we're building the Commonwealth we've always dreamed of. We're a leader in economic growth, tens of thousands of new jobs, our lowest unemployment rate ever, delivering on major infrastructure projects and bringing high-speed internet everywhere. We're building a bright future here for all of our families.
When we hear that sound, the competition is on.
12,400. Whoa, he's betting everything.
The stakes are high. The clock is ticking.
This is nerve-wracking.
Do you have what it takes for Jeopardy? Weeknights at 6 on WNKY, NBC 40.
The CDC has issued an alert that a treatment for RSV is in short supply. Its brand name is Beyfortus, and doctors are being recommended to only give it to the most at-risk children.
It's cold and flu season, and a vital treatment for a dangerous respiratory illness for babies is running out across the U.S.
The CDC has issued a notice that there is a shortage of that antibody, so we've had to ration who gets it based on the highest risk.
That means only newborns and infants at high risk of serious illness are getting the RSV monoclonal antibody treatment Beyfortus. Dr. Tom Murray from Yale New Haven Children's Hospital says numbers are rising at his hospital.
We are seeing an increase in RSV hospitalizations within the Children's Hospital over the last few weeks. Last week, we had at one point up to 8 children hospitalized on a given day with RSV.
Parents we spoke to were concerned to hear of the shortage, but weren't surprised.
Through the whole scare, I had 2 kids with ear infections last year, and we had the amoxicillin shortage or the penicillin shortage, and that was a nightmare. And I had to call 4 different pharmacies just to find that for my youngest kid with ear infection. And that was scary. And I'm like, in the U.S., really, this should not be an issue.
Dr. Murray said there are ways to stay safe, like hand washing, keeping sick kids at home, and getting the RSV vaccine if you're an adult that's around young children, and communicate with your doctor.
The first thing I'd say is that more supplies are supposed to be coming over the next few weeks. So it's really important to keep talking to your pediatrician or your healthcare provider.
The U.S. infant mortality rate is up for the first time in more than 20 years. That's according to a report released Wednesday by the National Center for Health Statistics. It found that overall infant mortality rate rose by 3% from 2021 to 2022. Experts say infant mortality is often a useful benchmark for the country's health system at large, but say this rise could be an isolated case or a sign of an underlying health care issue. They'll need to see next year's data to be certain. The increase in infant mortality could also be a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. The data shows that race also appears to have played a role, as different racial groups experience different rates of infant mortality. Coming up next on News 40 Sunrise, we'll honor one local veteran and her decision to serve our country in this week's Voices of Honor.
Plus, it's another cold morning across the region. Are there any signs of a warm-up? I'll have that answer in just a few.
Wherever you are, we are with you.
I had just gotten off work. All of a sudden, I was hit from behind. I immediately thought of Morgan & Morgan. All of the correspondence was done pretty much by email and text. I barely had to lift a finger. It's easier than you think.
Geez. Hey, Trent. What's going on? You've been here for 7 hours.
I'm having problems with this ain't. I'm coming back tomorrow.
I should call JB. Trent, gee.
Should have called JB Electric. At JB Electric, when it comes to electricity, we don't mess around. Make the right call. Call JB Electric.
It goes down in the DM. With FanDuel, every night is a watch party. New customers bet $5 and get $150 bonus if your team wins. Bet all the stars with all your friends and tell them that they get 3 months of NBA League Pass on us with any $5 bet. Only on FanDuel. New customers bet $5, get $150 bonus if your team wins. Plus NBA League Pass on us.
Stars and 6 Strings benefiting CCK Saturday, November 18th at La Gala. Dinner, auctions, and music by the Young Fables, plus a bourbon raffle estimated at $43,000. For info, email events at courageouskids.org. Organization 0002815. Join the WNKY News 40 weather team. Visit WNKY.com to become a weather watcher. Wherever you are, we are with you.
Welcome back to News 40 Sunrise. It is now time for Voices of Honor. After joining the U.S. Army, Christy Spurlock was stationed in Europe, where she saw the Berlin Wall and the last remnants of Soviet control in Eastern Europe, and before all of that vanished. She is this week's Voices of Honor, brought to you by Hospers Health.
I wanted to see the world, and I served one hitch in the late 80s, and so I knew I was going into the peacetime Army, and I was just looking for travel and adventure. I got to do basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. It was no fun at all. They discovered that I could, for some reason, really shoot an M16. So I spent a lot of my basic training working with soldiers who were having trouble qualifying with their weapon. I would be on the range and I would watch them and see what their problems were. And usually it was anxiety and nerves. Unlike the drill sergeants, I could take a gentler approach and talk to them and help them to qualify. So after basic, I went to Army Finance School. We learned everything about finance. The emphasis was, you ever steal a penny from the United States Army, you're going to Fort Leavenworth. After finance school, I was shipped to Pirmasens, Germany. It's a beautiful German town near the French border. Daily, Monday through Friday, after we ran PT every morning at 5:30, we would go grab some chow in the mess hall, and then we would start our duty day. And for me, that meant working in an office, and I did all kinds of finance-related things. But my favorite thing that we would go on these mobile pay teams. I would sign for $20,000 and someone from my unit would go with me with a loaded M16 to protect the money, and we would go out in remote parts of Germany and pay American troops. When I joined in 1987, it was all about the Cold War, and we really thought that if anything popped off, it was going to be the Soviets, you know, and they were sort of who we pictured as our enemy, but that quickly changed. In 1988, I got selected by my first sergeant to go over to East Berlin on an Army trip. So I spent about 3 days running around West Berlin, you know, modern city. And then we all went over to East Berlin and we went through Checkpoint Charlie and, you know, went literally through the Berlin Wall and saw East Berlin, and it was such a stark contrast. And there were Soviet soldiers, you know, over there patrolling East Berlin, and it was amazing. So that was 1988, and I believe the Berlin Wall came down, if I'm not mistaken, November 1989. You know, so that quickly, you know, Checkpoint Charlie and the wall and everything was gone. I make it sound idyllic, you know, because I spent most of it working in an office, but parts of it were difficult, you know, being away from home. A couple of times a year we'd go out into the woods and do real Army stuff, sleep in tents and get cold and eat MREs. That part wasn't fun, but, you know, overall, in total, my Army experience was pretty great.
Another downright cold morning across the area. Tracking clear skies out there. Here's a view at radar, and it's a clean sweep as we have high pressure that is going to be in control for us today. We had that wave of energy that worked its way across the Great Lakes. It brought some snow showers and flurries across portions of central Kentucky. Even Lexington saw a few flurries last night. Now that's drifting off towards West Virginia, and you're seeing that into Pennsylvania as well, and portions of the Buckeye State of Ohio. Temperatures right now into the 20s. This is the chill. This is the big story, just the cold. And check this out, Burkesville at 19 degrees right now. You factor in the winds, it feels like the teens in some locations, and also some low 20s. And so, yeah, we got that extra chill added with those winds that are still flowing in from the north and northwest. It's a bit of a modest breeze further west you go, say towards Greenville and Madisonville. Frost and freeze forecast as we go over the next few mornings. We're still tracking that hard freeze tonight. Thursday night still into the 20s, but eventually you're going to notice as we go for the weekend, well, temperatures, at least for the morning, are going to start to increase, and temperatures by the afternoon will increase as well for us. So I am expecting a warmer side of things to arrive later this week, but we just got to get through today and tomorrow. Temperatures will struggle to crest right around 50 once again today. We got sunshine in store. As we go through the overnight time frame, temperatures will drop to the 30s by 10 o'clock, and then we're down into the 20s again early in the day for your Thursday. Thursday will have a few passing clouds that will move through. Otherwise, really, it's going to be another cool day. As we go for your Thursday afternoon, though, Notice temperatures will be trending just a little warmer for us, so we're going to actually work our way into the 50s for your Thursday, and then overnight lows again still on the chilly side. We could be seeing again another frosty, chilly start. Am expecting a warm up though later in the week. We're going to be tracking a shift in the pattern, so that trough, jet stream that dipped through the region, that's going to start to lift further towards the north. And what that's going to do is that's going to usher in some warmer numbers for us. And we should expect temperatures to approach not only the 60s, but I do think some 70s will show up this weekend as well. So this is certainly good news for those who aren't a fan of the chilly weather. Here's that 7-day forecast with that weekend in view. And I did mention 60s and 70s. We could see 70 for a high on Sunday. We're staying pretty dry as we go over the next stretch of days as we roll into the end of daylight saving time. That ends again Sunday morning. So don't forget to move those clocks back an hour Saturday night. And then rain chances will arrive into early next week, but it will be pretty warm and mild as temperatures will be into the 60s and 70s for those daytime highs, and those morning lows will be into the 40s. So all in all, not too bad of a forecast as we go over the next stretch of days. Hey, be sure to follow News 40 weather online and on the air, even when the skies are fair. We got more of News 40 Sunrise to continue right after this commercial break.
Do you have settled or uneven concrete? USS is here to help. Changing weather conditions and poor drainage causes the soil under your concrete to shift and erode, and your concrete to settle. USS uses Polylift to raise sunken concrete in sidewalks, pool decks, porches, and more. Polylift is less expensive than full replacement, and you can walk on your concrete within minutes of repair. Visit uss-ky.com for a free estimate.
We'll guarantee our best. Call USS.
Insurance companies have a favorite kind of accident victim. The ones that take the first offer and don't ask questions. So which kind are you? Get Hughes & Coleman and get it done.
As Kentucky families struggled, Joe Biden brags.
Bidenomics is working.
Andy Beshear agrees. Beshear backed Biden's disastrous economic policies. Now he's endorsing Biden for re-election.
This president delivered.
For Andy Beshear, he did, giving $250,000 to fund his agenda.
I want to thank the president.
Beshear's with Biden. Trump backs Daniel Cameron. If you stand with Trump, vote Cameron for governor. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this ad.
Sign up today for the Jingle Bell 5K Run Walk benefiting the Arthritis Foundation. Saturday, November 18th at 9 a.m. at South Warren High School. Costumes and teams are encouraged. Register now at events.arthritis.org.
The Warren County Public Library presents award-winning suspense author Court Stevens, Sunday, November 12th at the Bob Kirby branch. Join us as Stevens discusses her latest novel, Last Girl Breathing. Free tickets are available at warrenpl.org.
Grab some lunch and make an impact. Join WNKY News 40 for Food Truck Fridays every week at Tidball's parking lot. This week features California Street Tacos to benefit Kiwanis' Sensory Music Garden. See the full lineup at WNKY.com.
Hey, Western Kentucky, we've got a look at the last Titans game, a preview of the next Titans game on the Mike Vrabel Show presented by SeatGeek.
Come hang out with us.
Watch the Coach Mike Vrabel Show Sunday mornings on WNKY CBS 40.
Public schools in Portland, Oregon are closed today, with more than 4,500 educators on strike for the first time in the school district's history. It follows months of unsuccessful negotiations for a new contract over issues like cost of living increases, class size limits, and mandatory staffing levels. The Teachers Association says their demands are just, though Portland Public Schools says it is limited by fixed revenue. A major court victory for Tesla yesterday after a California jury found Tesla's autopilot technology was not to blame for a deadly crash in 2019. Survivors of the crash accused the automaker of knowing its driver assistance technology was defective. Tesla argued the crash was caused by human error and that the driver still has to keep their hands on the wheel while using autopilot. The jury ruled that the driver's Model 3 was not defective when it went off the road. And for the first time ever, cup noodles will be microwavable. That's because the classic college student staple is doing away with its foam container and will instead be packaged in an eco-friendly paper cup that can go in the microwave. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jared Hill.
On Tuesday, the Biden administration introduced a proposed new rule aimed at making it easier for Americans to save for retirement and avoid junk fees. The rule would require financial professionals who sell retirement investments and advice to only do so in the best interest of their clients, not their own. In other words, to not steer a client toward one product or service based on how much more they or their firm can make by doing so. Congress and federal regulators already have fiduciary best interest rules in place to protect investors. But those rules don't cover all types of investment products and retirement savings transactions that retirement investors may be sold. And we regularly hear about large corporations that have suffered a cybersecurity breach, but a new report shows small businesses are being targeted as well. Chanel Call reports.
Pearl Northrup is an artist, and her canvas includes everything from ornaments to plates, even a decorative skull.
When I have a space and I start painting it, I don't stop until I've filled the entirety of it.
She used Facebook to promote her colorful creations, and one morning received a notification about a problem with the account.
And if I didn't provide my information, they would delete my account immediately.
Northrup clicked on a link and entered her login info. It was a scam, and in minutes, a hacker took over both her personal and business Facebook pages, racking up charges to her business account.
I wonder if you could talk about that moment of panic.
It was a mixture of, oh my gosh, I can't believe I fell for that. And I just wanted to get my page back.
Northrup is far from alone. A new report shows 73% of small businesses suffered a cyber incident in the past year.
The number of small businesses being attacked has grown tremendously over the last 3 years.
James Lee with the Identity Theft Resource Center says criminals often target the company's network to get customer data and money. 43% of small business owners say they lost revenue in an attack.
The main thing any small business needs to do is make sure you have an outside advisor helping you with your cybersecurity. It's just too complex to go on your own.
After an involved process, Northrup eventually regained control of her business account, and Facebook waived charges the hacker had made.
It was scary.
She now uses social media sparingly to promote her business and lives with the fear she could be hacked again. Chanel Call, CBS News, New York.
Today's forecast features Poppy and Ziggy, and they say that the cold is pretty rough out there. Temperatures into the 20s to start off this morning. Definitely going to want to wear a jacket as you're heading out and about this morning, or a heavy coat. Temperatures in the 20s right now, 29 in Bowling Green, 27 there into Scottsville. Glasgow checking in at 24. It's 26 there into Edmonton. You factor in the winds, it feels just a few degrees cooler out there, so it is adding that extra chill. Those winds that are falling from or dropping in from the north and west. Generally calm across the area, just a little bit of a modest breeze further west you go. Radar pretty dry and quiet. You got those snow showers that still continue to kind of pinwheel off towards the east around that trough. But meanwhile for us, we have high pressure that is going to work to serve up chilly sunshine our way as we go throughout the day. Temperatures are into the 40s, and we'll stay in the 40s for those afternoon highs. Don't go anywhere. News 40 Sunrise continues after this commercial break.
You know what day this is?
Not guilty.
Today the LA riots began. He tried to protect his store and was killed. You're here to save him. Just trust me.
We need to get out of here now.
Quantum Leap. Tonight on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
We are thinking about having kids.
We should celebrate.
We better step on it.
You're not serious about this kids thing.
Thomas, I'm English and I went to boarding school. What do you think?
Magnum PI. Tonight on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
The nursing home was supposed to keep your loved ones safe. No exceptions. Even in extreme circumstances, the basic standards must be met. No excuses. Bed sores, broken bones, malnutrition, and dehydration are just some of the warning signs of a nursing home that's not doing what they're supposed to do. If you suspect your loved one is the victim of nursing home neglect, get Hughes and Coleman and get it done. Call 800-800-4600. The safety of your loved one is all that matters.
My opponent's campaign is built on attacks and lies. But you know me, and you know it isn't true. We've been through a lot together, and now we're building the Commonwealth we've always dreamed of. We're a leader in economic growth, tens of thousands of new jobs, our lowest unemployment rate ever, delivering on major infrastructure projects and bringing high-speed internet everywhere. We're building a bright future here for all of our families.
At WNKY News 40, we're always on. WNKY.com has the latest in breaking news, local headlines, weather forecasts, and sports highlights. WNKY News 40, because local matters.
It's another cold morning across the region, but I am seeing signs of a warm-up that arrives later this week. I'll track that with your 7-day forecast. We're your News 40 Weather Authority. The time is 6:28. Another look at top stories.
Welcome back to News 40 Sunrise, and thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Ashley Wilson. Let's continue with our top stories. We now know the names of the two people who died Tuesday morning on Veterans Memorial Highway in Allen County. Kentucky State Police say they got a call around 5 Tuesday morning to investigate a deadly collision in the 5500 block of Veterans Memorial. KSP says after their investigation, they determined that 53-year-old Jose Alfaro and his wife, 49-year-old Ana Alfaro of Bowling Green, were driving southbound when they hit a deer. They both got out of the vehicle and were standing in the road when Javier Portillo of Bowling Green hit their vehicle and the couple. Both Jose and Ana Alfaro were declared dead on the scene. We're continuing our coverage as Kentucky's race for our next governor heats up ahead of Election Day. Republican Daniel Cameron is picking apart the Democratic governor's record in trying to energize his party's growing base in Kentucky's gubernatorial race. At a campaign stop Tuesday, Cameron took aim at Governor Andy Beshear's veto of transgender bills and handling of the pandemic. He also linked the incumbent to the nation's top Democrat, President Joe Biden. Beshear and Cameron are making closing arguments to Bluegrass State voters ahead of Election Day next Tuesday. Starting this Thursday, polling places open for 3 days of early voting. Even though our four-legged friends have fur, pets can get cold too. But that's why Butler County Animal Shelter put out a post Tuesday advising animal owners to look out for their dogs and cats as we face colder days. A shelter worker we spoke to said straw is the way to go for outside animals, no blankets. Salt used to melt ice and snow can burn your pet's paws, so be sure to wash them after a walk. And just breaking the wind by doing things like putting up tarps. And don't be afraid to put a coat on your dog if they have shorter hair.
That's really important. You know, they can get frostbite just like us. They can, get hypothermia and things like that. So it's really important to monitor your pet, especially if they are living outside.
She also says that if you're concerned about your animal's exposure to the cold, have a vet check them as soon as possible. According to her, it's hard for animals to come back from frigid temperatures at times. And we officially have the highest bidder for Bowling Green's famous murder mansion just as the spooky season is wrapping up. This multi-story home sits off Cemetery Road in Bowling Green and has now been sold for $1.17 million at a recent auction. The home got its name after a double murder over 70 years ago. The spine-tingling stories of the murder mansion have also been the focus of local haunted walking tours and a book by local author Wes Switek. That was another look at your top stories. Now it's time to see who needs a forever home in today's Pet of the Day.
I'm Corinna Shadowan, and it's time now for your Pet of the Day, brought to you by Morgantown Bank and Trust. Today we have Denala, who is the sweetest girl. She's 4 years old, and she did have some puppies, but she is all good and playful now. She is just the most playful, sweetest girl, and you can adopt her today at the Bowling Green Warren County Humane Society.
Danella is just having a time.
She has the energy that we all need first thing in the morning.
Especially in the morning, yes.
Oh my gosh, she is playful, she's energized, and she needs a forever home. So you can adopt Danella today from the Bowling Green Warren County Humane Society.
Well, it's another chilly morning. I'm going to help you plan out this chilly day the News 40 way. Don't go anywhere.
Sundays are for football. WNKY 40 is your go-to for the NFL. Watch games all day on WNKY, CBS 40, and NBC 40.
Summer skies, they warm up everything. Then fall comes around, and you know it's getting near. Christmas is my favorite time. Experience so much Christmas the way Santa does.
Football Frenzy is back in South Central Kentucky.
WNKY News 40 is your home for high school football. The most schools, the most highlights, the most coverage. Catch Football Frenzy Friday nights at 10 on WNKY News 40.
Car wreck? When you get Hughes & Coleman, it can make a big difference. Here's what I mean. Insurance offer, $3,000. Our result, $156,000. Insurance offer, $0. Our result, $385,000. Insurance offer, $300,000. Our result, $1 million. After an accident, if you want to get the money you deserve, get Hughes & Coleman and get it done. Call 800-800-4600.
When you come in and open an account with us, you can choose to have a shelter pet card. Whenever you use that card and swipe it as a credit transaction, it triggers a donation back to the animal shelters.
They're able to help the shelter in such an easy way.
It's a way to help remotely, and you know that your money is going to be used well. It really means a lot to be a local bank now. We just try to give back in any way we can.
WNKY News 40 is always on at WNKY.com.
The time is 6:34. Weather on the 4s to get you out the door. Brought to you by Deborah Bros Attorneys at Law. Temperatures are into the 20s across the area. 23 in Woodbury, 26 in Russellville. Franklin at 25. It's 24 there to Glasgow. You factor in just those lighter winds that may feel a tad chillier where those temperatures are sitting at right now. So it is adding an extra chill with those winds flowing in from the north and west. Radar dry and quiet as we have high pressure that's going to work to serve up sunshine our way as we go throughout the day. We've got snow showers off across the north and east. As we plan out your day the News 40 way, you're definitely going to need that jacket or heavy coat this morning. And we're going to still be in the 30s even through about, say, 11 a.m. Then eventually some 40s as we go later throughout this afternoon. Again, it's going to be mostly sunny as we go throughout the day. If you're not a fan of the chilly temperatures, I am going to be tracking a warm up on the way. I'll be telling you more about that with your 7-day forecast. It's going to be coming up in, say, the next few minutes or so. But in the meantime, I'll send it over to Ashley.
Thank you, Darius. It's time now for your Wednesday edition of Sunrise Spotlight. And with me in studio this morning is Emily Cosby from the Center for Courageous Kids, here to tell us all about the upcoming Stars and Six Strings. Emily, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm so excited to talk about this event. It's such a great one for a great cause. Give us the info on what's going on.
Yeah, so this is our 5th year hosting the Stars and Six Strings event. It's going to be at La Gala this year, and it's presented by the Perry Ritchie Group of Baird Wealth Management, and we have our bourbon raffle for the 2nd year going into this event. So for Stars and Six Strings, it's going to be an evening event where tables are sponsored, tickets, people are invited with tickets and things like that. But the bourbon raffle is something anyone can participate in. The drawing will happen November 18th at the event, but you don't have to be present to win. So anyone can purchase a bourbon raffle ticket.
And with this, I mean, we've got some, obviously, bourbon capital of the world. Lots to choose from for those that are bourbon connoisseurs, right?
For sure. So we are so excited that this year we actually had a private collector open their vault to us. That they saw our bourbon raffle last year and they said we'd really like to help out next year. So here we are, and they put together 12 packages for us of some great stuff. I mean, you've got Pappy in there, you've got Weller in there, you've got E.H. Taylor, Booker's, Angel's Envy, all the
you
names,
name it, all the bigwigs.
That those that enjoy bourbon, whether they're a collector or just an enthusiast and they want to start a collection, this is a great way to do it because every package is no less than $1,000 worth of bourbon to get started. And we've got 2 actual buy-ins this year. There's a grand prize for $250 a ticket, but only 250 tickets are going to be sold. So really great chance to win if you get in on that one. And then a $100 ticket where there's 11 other packages you could win. And the great thing is because we've had this private collector open their vault to us, every ticket that's bought, whether it's a winner or not, 100% of every dollar you spend on tickets is going to go directly to supporting our program and the kids that we serve, because we're not having to offset the cost of the bourbon, which is really unique to this bourbon raffle.
And so, as you said, you don't have to be present to win. So how can you purchase tickets? And if you're not there, how will the winner be notified?
So it is an online auction. The best way to buy tickets is I'm telling people, go to our Facebook page, because at the very top, the Bourbon Raffle flyer post is there at the top of our feed on the Center for Courageous Kids Facebook page. The link to purchase your tickets online is within that post. And like I said, we'll be doing the drawing that night, November 18th at Stars and Six Strings, and we will contact you via the phone number you list when you purchase the ticket to let you know that you won.
Well, so many great options, obviously all going for a great cause. So sign up for those raffles. There's prizes, great prizes to be had. Well, Emily, thank you again for being here.
Thank you so much.
Of course. That was another look at this morning's Sunrise Spotlight. When we return, Darius Mack will be back with another look at your forecast. Stay with us.
I've signed 627 bipartisan bills into law. We cut the income tax by over 10%, legalized sports betting and medical cannabis, and capped the cost of insulin. We're getting things done. Let's keep it going.
No one wins alone.
NASCAR is really a team sport.
You need your mechanics, your pit crew to make everything come together.
No different at Morgan & Morgan. That attorney has a great team behind him that makes them the winning team.
Enjoy a great lunch with a different food truck every week and help support our local charities.
Join us for Food Truck Fridays at the Tidballs parking lot on Chestnut Street. Part of your lunch purchase will be donated to a local nonprofit by Flora Templeton Stewart and our food trucks.
Food Truck Friday has collected over $10,000, making a difference in our community.
Brought to you by the law firm of Flora Templeton Stewart.
Celebrate the winning season all November long at the Mint Gaming Hall at Bowling Green, featuring an elevated gaming experience with the newest games, sophisticated bars, delicious eats, entertainment, and more. Win up to $2,000 in cash, gift cards, and more in our holiday drawings Wednesday, November 22nd through Saturday the 25th. Drawings at 5, 7, and 9 p.m. Stop in and win this holiday season at the Mint Gaming Hall Bowling Green.
Winning just got closer. The next generation of streaming is here. Introducing Spectrum One Stream with internet, advanced Wi-Fi, mobile, and now TV with the all-new Xumo Stream Box. It's streaming simplified. Get Spectrum One Stream with fast and reliable internet for $49.99 a month, free advanced Wi-Fi, a free unlimited mobile line, and a free Xumo Stream Box when you add Spectrum TV. Go to spectrum.com/stream, a Spectrum store, or call 833-976-4999.
It's time to tighten up, South Central Kentucky.
WNKY is your official home for the Tennessee Titans.
Watch our games plus the Coach Mike Vrabel Show and Titans All Access.
Only on WNKY News 40, because local matters.
I've worked in Kentucky most of my life, and there's more jobs here than I've ever seen. Governor Beshear has been great for business. The wages are up because the jobs are up. He's getting things done, and that's what matters. I'm a Republican. I did not support Andy Beshear the first time. He's got my vote this time around.
Welcome back. It's the first day of November and still tracking a chilly morning across the region. And if you're tired of the chilly air, I do have some good news for you. I am expecting signs of a warm up that's going to show up a little bit later. So it's a little teaser there. I'll show you that a little bit later with your 7-day forecast. Radar is dry and quiet to start off this morning, all associated with an area of high pressure. Had a frontal boundary, or at least a trough wave of energy that rolled its way across the region last night and brought some flurries across portions of central and eastern Kentucky. You're seeing some of those snow showers now through Pennsylvania and over towards West Virginia and eastern portions of the Buckeye State of Ohio. Temperatures right now into the 20s right now. 29 in Bowling Green, 27 there into Scottsville. But check this out. Burkesville at 18 degrees. So yeah, it is just a frigid, downright cold and dry morning out as well. So be sure to at least get some chapstick this morning. It's going to be just a chilly start to the day, and really a chilly day as we go all the way through. Check out the winds and the wind chill. Right now we got those winds that are flowing in from the north and west, and of course it's making things feel just a tad chillier out there. It feels like the teens there towards Greenville and Madisonville with the 7 or 6 mile an hour breeze there. Frost and freeze concerns as we go over the next few nights. We go through Friday night. You're going to notice we're still dealing with a frosty morning, at least by Saturday morning, and then eventually you're going to notice those temperatures starting to climb. If the low temperatures are starting to climb, well, that must mean that the high temperatures are starting to climb as well. So I am expecting some warmer temperatures to arrive as we go throughout this week. As far as today goes, temperatures will again be somewhere into the 40s, may struggle to make it to 50 degrees. I think officially our high yesterday was 50 degrees at Bowling Green, but we may have a little bit of a harder time getting to that today due to the fact that that wave of energy has rolled through, and it's bringing us that extra chill. Temperatures starting off into the 20s and even some 30s as we work our way into your, say, Thursday morning, and then as we go by your Thursday afternoon, temperatures are actually going to be trending just a little milder for us. We're going to see eventually those numbers climb into the 50s by the afternoon, and then overnight lows dipping down into the 30s. It's still going to be frigid, freezing by Friday morning, and then as we go for the weekend, well, I am expecting a warm-up. So that arrives later this week as we are going to be tracking a shift in the pattern. And I'm talking about temperatures that will run pretty warm. In fact, we'll see numbers into the 60s, and not only the 60s, but we could expect some 70s on the way as well. Here's that 7-day forecast as promised. And as we go throughout the week, we're going to be in the 60s on Friday. We're going to hang on to mostly sunny skies as we go throughout the week. Don't forget as well, daylight saving time officially ends on Sunday, and you'll want to roll those clocks back an hour. Don't want to, forget to do that or show up an hour early to worship services. As you go for your Monday and Tuesday, we got those shower chances that will be in the mix, but temperatures still staying on the mild side. We're going to be into the middle 60s and even some 70s still by Monday, and overnight lows down into the 40s. That is your 7-day forecast. Now it's time to wish our friends happy birthday in today's Soki's Birthday Club.
Bed sores, broken bones, malnutrition, and dehydration are just some of the warning signs of a nursing home that's not doing what they're supposed to do. If you suspect your loved one is the victim of nursing home neglect, call 800-800-4600.
J.C. Kirby & Son Funeral Chapels, when a person comes in and does their pre-arrangement, I can see it over the years that I've worked in this, how much it eases the family's minds. If you have 4 people, they have 4 different ideas of what they want. This settles that to where they say if that's what mom wanted, that's what dad wanted. You can see the relief on a lot of families' faces, because all you do is say, what time do you want the funeral? What time do you want the visitation? And they can spend more time with their family members and friends in the grieving process. It just really takes a lot of burden off your family.
At Brewster's, we believe life is a celebration. Don't limit yourself to birthdays or holidays. Create a custom cake anytime. Our creamy homemade ice cream catapults the ordinary into the extraordinary. Treat yourself today at Brewster's.
Home is more than a house. Wherever you are in your journey of homeownership, German American Bank is here to support you. Our team of dedicated mortgage loan professionals can help you with lending solutions featuring low or no down payment, assistance for closing costs and improvement projects, or even loans specifically for first-time home buyers. We're here to tell you, homeownership is achievable. German American Bank, member FDIC.
Name an animal the wife doesn't mind her husband calling her. Hey, fellas, don't do that. There's no way to fix that.
Family Feud. Weeknights at 5 and 6:30 on CBS 40. WNKY News 40 is always on at WNKY.com.
The nursing home made you an important promise. They promised to be a good home for your loved one and to provide professional care in a safe environment. Now the nursing home has broken that promise and you're left searching for answers. Get Hughes & Coleman and get it done.
Welcome into sports. The WKU soccer team earned a handful of honors yesterday ahead of postseason play. Conference USA released its all-conference teams and all-freshman team, of which 5 tops were included. Katie Irwin was named to the CUSA first team. Maddie Davis was tabbed to the second team. Amber Barnett and Sydney Ernst were named to the third team. And Rebecca Roth was named to the all-freshman team. The tops will begin the CUSA tournament today at Louisiana Tech. Well, the WKU women's basketball team took on Lane College in a scrimmage to kick off the 2023 season last night. The Lady Toppers put on an absolute clinic on Halloween night against the Lady Dragons. WKU had 6 players post double-digit points en route to a 100-37 win. Nevaeh Foster led the way with 17 points, followed by Acacia Hayes, who tallied 15. Here's what head coach Greg Collins had to say after the win.
Thought the girls played really hard with a lot of intensity. Wasn't always perfect, but we talked about just playing with great energy and enthusiasm. Thought they brought that. We'll work on the execution and trying to clean up some things over the next 4 days, 4 practices before we get Mercer in here.
Well, that's a look at sports. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Patrick. For some in our community, getting to the polls, even with open polling place, may be a challenge. This year, through GoBG and the historic Rail Park are both offering low or no-cost transit on Election Day. News 40 reporter Tucker Covey took a ride to learn more about this new service for the community.
For some without a car, it is difficult to cast their vote, but GoBG and the Bowling Green Trolley are trying to help with that. GoBG is an affordable option that drops off at or near some polling locations, and the trolley will be going directly to some polling locations.
We have 5 routes that run 12 hours from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., so they're running the whole time that the polling locations are open. We have routes that take you all over the community, so depending on where you live and what's the closest polling location, you can go to the website, find the map. You can actually go use the Move It feature on the website, and you can put in your location and where you need to go, and it'll tell you the most efficient way to get there.
The low-cost service is much more than just a way to get to the polls, but on Election Day, it lends itself to saving money on gas and being able to cast your vote in the general election.
We're working to educate the public. That is probably our biggest challenge, is educating the public on that transit exists in Bowling Green, and for $2, it will take you anywhere.
The private trolley service from the historic rail park is free and gives riders a direct line to a polling place and a ride back.
On November 7th, the trolley will operate as a hop-on, hop-off option for people to get to the polls and vote. And so we actually have 6 stops that we'll be making that day. We're going to run from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We've got 4 spots where we're picking up, and then 2 spots that are actually voting locations where we will drop people off.
In Bowling Green, because local matters, Tucker Covey, WNKY News 40.
When we come back, we'll find out how you can get your body used to falling back as daylight saving time arrives this weekend. Plus, meteorologist Darius Mack will have another check of your forecast. Don't go anywhere.
When it comes to good things, we always want more. Even as a child, Miss Moore was no different. She loved more.
More?
So when she was injured, she called Morgan & Morgan. With more lawyers, more offices, and more than $15 billion recovered, she didn't have to ask for more anymore. When you're injured, you deserve more. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Summer skies, they warm up everything. Then fall comes around, and you know it's getting near. Christmas is my favorite time.
Experience so way Santa does.
WNKY News 40 loves celebrating our viewers. That's why we bring you Soki's Birthday Club. Joining the club is free and simple. Visit WNKY.com/birthday, fill out the form, and click Submit. That's it. Your name will appear on News 40 Sunrise and News 40 at noon on your birthday, and you'll be entered to win a special birthday surprise. WNKY News 40 loves celebrating you because local matters. Soki's Birthday Club is brought to you by these great sponsors. Saturdays are for football. WNKY 40 is your college football headquarters. Watch games all day on WNKY CBS 40 and NBC 40.
Daylight savings is impacting all of us this weekend, and getting enough sleep makes a difference in everyone's day. News 40 reporter Carlisle Coppins has more on the story.
Times are changing, literally. And with daylight saving, this could impact how we function throughout our daily lives.
If our job was to turn the lights on and off in Mammoth Cave, every night we turn the lights off a little later, and every morning we turn the lights on a little later. Our brain clock is longer than 24 hours.
Changing the time can be exhausting, and a few people want to stay in one standard time all the time. There's even an act that has been signed by the state of Kentucky that can make this happen.
The Sunshine Act was designed to actually make it so that we stay on one time all the time. When it is in effect officially as law, then Kentucky goes along with it. But we're not there yet, so we're still going to have to fall back, and we're still going to have to spring forward until that law goes into effect.
Since the act has not been passed, daylight saving is a go. You may think you can use this extra hour as an excuse to stay up later, but you really shouldn't.
Depression is clearly linked to not enough sleep. Weight control is clearly linked to not enough sleep. If we're not sleeping enough, we have to have more energy. We need to eat more. Even if we're not expending all that energy, makes us gain weight. Lots of problems occur when people don't sleep enough. So I would encourage all of us to try and get 8 hours of sleep every night.
Although it's easier to stay up later, not enough sleep is not good for anyone. It can affect all ages, especially children. People need to be sleeping at least 8.5 to 9 hours.
Good rest means better athletic performance and better academic performance. It's a key to success in life.
In Bowling Green, because local matters, Carlisle Coppins, WNKY News 40.
Time for another look at your temperatures out there and also current conditions. We take a look at the Western Kentucky University Farm this morning, courtesy of the Kentucky Mesonet site that is there. We got clear conditions, but also it's another chilly, frosty start to the day. Temperatures into the 20s right now, 24 in Glasgow, 27 there into Scottsville, and you factor in those winds. It feels like the teens currently in Woodbury with just a 3-mile-an-hour breeze. So yeah, it's just adding that extra chill. Be sure to bundle up, grab the coat or the jacket, and hang on to that jacket throughout the day because temperatures really are not going to be climbing up that much today. In fact, we're going to be somewhere into the 40s for our daytime highs. Radar dry and quiet into the area. That's all associated with that area of high pressure that is working to serve up that sunshine our way as we go throughout the day. We got some snow showers there that are off towards the north and east, say towards Pennsylvania and West Virginia. Your commuter forecast on this Wednesday, 20s this morning, 40s for the lunch run, at least low 40s, and then upper 40s for the PM drive. Hey, we're wrapping up News 40 Sunrise after this.
The nursing home made you an important promise. They promised to be a good home for your loved one and to provide professional care in a safe environment. Now the nursing home has broken that promise and you're left searching for answers. Call us at Hughes & Coleman for a free consultation. If your loved one suffered a serious injury or untimely death while in a nursing home, get Hughes & Coleman and get it done. Call 800-800-4600. Standing up for your loved ones is what matters now.
Hi, I'm Angie Steinhorst.
And my name is Mark Steinhorst, and we are the proud owners of Tuffy. We went down to Clarksville and left Tuffy here with a dog sitter. Tuffy shot out past him and took off running.
They posted, I think it was that night or the very next morning, on the Warren County, Kentucky Lost and Found page. Your pet goes missing or is lost, immediately get on that page. If we didn't have a sense of community, just being newer here, we certainly came out of this whole experience with a sense of community.
Celebrate the winning season all November long at the Mint Gaming Hall at Bowling Green, featuring an elevated gaming experience with the newest games, sophisticated bars, delicious eats, entertainment, and more. Win up to $2,000 in cash, gift cards, and more in our holiday drawings Wednesday, November 22nd through Saturday the 25th. Drawings at 5, 7, and 9 p.m. Stop in and win this holiday season at the Mint Gaming Hall Bowling Green.
Winning just got closer. Sundays are for football. WNKY 40 is your go-to for the NFL. Watch games all day on WNKY, CBS 40, and NBC 40.
Hey, I'm Elias Gomez, and 3 things you're going to learn about me this week are tropical, hot rods, and country music.
Catch us this week on Marquee Backstage.
Glasgow, thank you for watching WNKY, NBC 40.
I tell you what, guys, I love sweater weather. I'm excited to bust
Sweater
out
weather.
my
Yes.
sweater weather. But it is brutal.
Frigid. It is brutal.
It is frigid. It really is.
I'm not a fan, and I was telling you guys earlier, I kind of envy the people that don't have to get up so early in the morning to get to work,
some of the
to experience the
colder temps that we
coldest
feel.
temperatures of the day, because it is just downright cold out there.
It is,
so.
but last night with those trick-or-treaters, I mean, they were troopers when I was passing out candy.
Yeah.
I mean, that wind was cutting, but let me tell you, it didn't slow those
They came
kids
out
down
in force.
to get some candy. They were ready to go.
So I got to ask you, what was your favorite costume that you saw last night?
Oh my gosh, I saw a lot of great Wednesday Addams, very popular. Saw some Barbie, saw some, who else did I see? Just lots of creative, very cute. I think the little tiny babies all wrapped up.
I think I saw one of the more creative ones. Someone had made a porta potty. And then where you can like open up the door and it looks like they're sitting on the toilet and they're like reading a newspaper. And it may have been, but I saw it. Someone may have taken that idea, but someone came through where I live and I saw that, and I burst out laughing.
That's funny.
Whether they stole it from TikTok or wherever, it was still hilarious.
You gotta get some good ideas.
Oh, it was great.
You know what? I should say my favorite costume was my nephew, Emmett. He was a little dinosaur.
Aww.
He's my favorite. Emmett, you're so cute. But he was bundled up because he had to be.
Oh,
yeah.
it's
gonna be cold, right, Darius?
Yeah, it's going to be another cold day with chilly temperatures this afternoon into the 40s with sunshine. We'll see 50s, though, on Thursday, so it'll be a little warmer, and 60s on Friday. 70s later this week on Sunday, a high of 70 degrees. Low 70s Monday, and then we got some rain chances.
All right. Well, I look forward to the warmer.
Me too.
All right.
Me too.
Thank you all for joining us this morning. We look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow at 6 a.m. But don't go anywhere. You're now